about non-chemical plant protection for sustainable future. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
First of all, good evening to all. Uh, we are here to discuss non-chemical plant protection for sustainable future. So before starting this scheduled session, it is necessary for all of us to understand why we are discussing this topic. So all we know that the green revolution changed the global food security over past 50 years, and we have reached at very progressive stage where most of the people on this planet are having their staple food, or we can say their dietary requirements completed. So before green revolution there were traditional methods which were followed by our ancestors, and during that period less emphasis were given to the not chemical methods for plant protection or chemical based inputs, we can say. But post green revolution the more emphasis was given on chemical based fertilizers, chemical based pesticides, in which herbicides are there are fungicides and insecticides, we can say. But over the period of 5 decades, we have seen tremendous growth in global pesticide market, or we can say that the change in agricultural practices we can say change in agricultural practices has changed the general agriculture as a whole. Uh, if we consider today's situation, most of the farmers have um, are dependent on chemical-based inputs, of which majority of expenses where we are doing on the plant protection chemicals, basically pesticides and fungicides. So why we are discussing is very important before starting this session, and before that we must understand that every alternative has its pros and cons. We have seen pros over the period of 5 decades, and now we are witnessing some cons uh, in different areas, we can say, of which the impact of pesticide on environment is one of the measure we are going to discuss. So we all know that we spray pesticides for different pest control, and during this the droplets of pesticides, or we can say that liquid pesticide we spray on the plant, gets reached to the water resources through soil, and also it goes to the air, and subsequently we can say it reaches the groundwater table or water resources we are using consume water. So it is important to know that major con for environment we are looking is that it pollutes air, natural water, soil. Now there are five different parameters we are looking: plants, air, environmental conditions, natural water, and soil. On the plant, if we are spraying the pesticide on the plant, they are not 100% taken inside or absorbed quickly, but most of the pesticide were spray on the soil, which causes if you spray the broad spectrum pesticides, most of the beneficial insects get killed. That disturbs the ecosystem in the environment, and which alter, which in turns affect the crop protection. Because if you kill the natural enemies, it will not counter the pest present in the field. Also, in the soil, there are different beneficial microflora and uh, insects living in the soil. And after spraying of pesticide, their colony or their hidden stages get killed or their ecosystem gets disturbed. Also, if the natural water resources get contaminated with pesticide, and if somehow humans drink that water, it will cause various health related issues, we can say. Next, look at the pesticide cycle. We spray pesticide on the crop, and it is also sprayed on the soil. It is vaporized to atmosphere, and we know the term black rain or acidic rain, we can say. It comes down with rainfall and also contaminates the soil in that region, also the water resources, the surface runoff, and leaching out for in the root zone also contaminates the water. Now, ill effect of chemical pesticide. We know the chemicals are very toxic to the human body. We know the Bhopal incident where thousands of people got killed due to methyl isocyanate leakage, and we understand how much it can impact our human health. If you consider pesticides and human health, while spraying the pesticide, if some droplets get into the eyes, it will cause irritation to eyes. If somehow it enters the nasal system or through respiration, it will cause dizziness, nausea. There are different examples. So you can say diarrhea, death, dizziness. Can take place if we don't take proper care while spraying the pesticide. Other examples are cancer. We know we have we have heard the term cancer train, which travels to Punjab to Rajasthan. If, if you look at the Punjab's agriculture conditions, they are known for sugarcane cultivation, also wheat cultivation, and most of the country's pesticide market is dependent on Punjab because intensive cultivation practices and intensive spraying of pesticide resulted in increased yield, but it has also caused various health related problems in people living there. So, if you know that the patients of cancer comes from a train, especially it is known as cancer train from Punjab to Rajasthan for the treatment. So we can understand that how much it can affect the human health. Also, there are different birth defects, reproductive issues, neurological issues that may arise due to pesticide. Anyhow, it enters our body, maybe through nasal area or through consumption or through absorption by skin. It can cause various health related issues. Also, acute humor, as I told earlier, irritation of nose, throat, skin causing burning, stinging, itching, rashes, blisters are also common if we get exposed to pesticides. Chronic health effects, which are serious, we can say that, which includes cancer, tumors, brain, nervous system damage, birth defects, infertility, and other reproductive problems, damages to the liver, kidney, lungs, and other body organs. There are they are different illnesses caused by the pesticide. Look at the image here. There are different illnesses that may cause due to pesticide. We know the pesticide contain heavy metals like cadmium, mercury, copper, zinc, and application of those results in quick control, but they are toxic too. If we if we look at the box of or a package of pesticide, any pesticide, there is toxicity level chart is there, and also consumption or exposure to this pesticide can what it can result are also mentioned there. So there are different body organs which are shown here: cardiac failures, lung cancers, hepatic necrosis, ovarian cancer, musculoskeletal disease, thyroid hormonal imbalance is also can also be caused by pesticides, vomiting, diarrhea, renal dysfunction, osteoporosis, Alzheimer. There are serial. We all know that pregnant mothers and children are most vulnerable as they are, we can say, they have weak towards their immunity. Exposure to pesticide can cause infertility issues, reproductive issues, diabetes, obesity, Parkinson-like diseases, asthma, depression, anxiety. Exposure of these people, mostly we can say pregnant mothers and children, can cause disruption of endocrine system, childhood cancer. It affects neural development and other some disorders. So we are discussing this topic, and while discussing, we must have to take in account what is present global status of plant protection market. According to report by Fortune Business Insights, global plant protection market or plant protection chemical market is projected to grow from $59.41 billion in 2021 to $81.74 billion in 2028 at growth rate of 4.66% in forecast period. If you look at Indian crop protection market in 2025 to 26 is expected to grow at the rate of 3%. And if you look at the pie chart, we can clearly see in plant protection chemicals, herbicide, insecticide, and fungicides are major chemicals which are widely used by farmers all over the globe, we can say. And This trend is increasing. So if you want to have sustainable future, which which we can secure our health related issues, we have to look at sustainable plant protection measures. So various scientists across the world are doing their research and upon analyzing various things, there are set principles of plant protection. If you look at this is pyramid, and any scientist, any expert, any plant pathologist, agriculture entomologist never suggest use of chemical at first. They always suggest to avoid chemical up to if if the incidence of pest or disease is maximum or it is causing economic damage, we can say economic losses, then and then only we call it as a prophylactic measures for plant disease or pest control. The use of chemical at first is permitted. So while protecting plant, what is necessary? There are different aspects, we can say. There are tolerant or resistance varieties. Various varieties of crops are tolerant and or resistant to various pests and diseases. It helps us to avoid losses by either tolerating the incidence and not letting it harm the yield of that particular crop, or even if the incidence of that pest or disease happens or arises, there is no substantial change in the yield. Another is planting method or crop care, soil working. We know, or we know the definite cultivation practices. We plow the land, then harrow. This helps us eradication of the dormant stages of pest and diseases. If any inoculum is present in the soil, it gets exposed to soil and it eradicates soil hitting by soil radiation, eradicates the inoculum or destroys the stages, or some birds eat the dormant stages of pest. There are different planting methods crop care. We can avoid the incidence of pest or disease by adjusting the time of sowing or conducting certain intercultural operations, which are also suggested. Promoting natural antagonistic, which is major we are looking towards while working. Other prediction, diagnosis, warnings about economic threshold. There are different projects. We can say in Haryana, in Maharashtra, PropSap and HotSap are different projects which helps in pest monitoring and also pest related advisory. Such systems are nowadays working. We are working on there are different biological means which includes use of fungal antagonist and different insect bioagents. There are different physical methods which I told earlier, plowing, harrowing, a different method. There are different cultural methods. We can say trap cropping, crop rotations, are different methods. Border cropping is there also. Biotechnological approach. We know the BT cotton, resistance against bollworm complex. It is example of biotechnological approach. And at last, as I said earlier, we have to follow all this method in earlier stage. And if only if we have to follow chemical methods, only when the incidence, we can't check the incidence or we can't control the incidence, then and they only go for the chemicals. Because If you blindly start spraying the chemicals, after some period of time, resistance for that pesticide or fungicide will be there, and it will be very difficult for us to find new molecules to tackle that particular pest or disease. So it is suggested to apply chemicals. It is necessary. Fundamental principles of plant protection. Avoidance. They are very basic principles. Uh, Geographical area selection of proper fields where that particular disease inoculum is not present or disease doesn't appear there. Use of disease escaping varieties, avoidance of insect vectors or weed host. It is also important to look at these small things which will help us in plant protection. Immunization, however, use of resistant varieties, exclusion, quarantining, regional quarantine, state level quarantine, inspection, certifications, seed treatment to avoid introduction of new inoculum of pest or disease from one region to another region. It is very important. Legal, we see it as a legal means. Eradication, crop rotation, because if you rotate the crop, the pathogen or that particular pest doesn't get its host to continue its livelihood. So crop rotation is very important. Field sanitation is also important because if we we are cultivating same same crop over a period of year, and it helps in building the inoculum within the field. So it is necessary to do field sanitation, roaming of disease infected, pest infested crop, soil treatment with different antagonistic fungi are there, trichoderma is there, trichoderma viridi, Bassianum, Bacillus subtilis is there. There are different antagonistic fungi and bacteria which help in soil enrichment and which helps in disease management and protection, which is at last chemical treatment to protect the crop post infection or infestation. So there are two important things I'm going to focus on is conservation of natural limits. We know that there are different chemicals we call as the systemic, contact, and broad spectrum. Systemic chemicals focused on sucking pest, basically, and contact fungicides on foliage feeder pest, and broad spectrum fungicide used against various insect pests, wide range of insect pests. As we have developed such pesticides, we are going to use them. But use of these pesticides cause killing of these important natural enemies present within the field. There is aphid predators, lacewing, ladybird beetles, who helps in management of thrips, mealybug destroyer, Cryptonemus montosairi, which is known as classical example of biological control. Praying mantis is there, predatory mite is, Trichogramma chilunis, Trichogramma species is there, Incarnatia formesa, white flag parasites. We know the Darwin's law, survival of the fittest. The pest is infesting the crop and it is causing losses. But if we look at its ecosystem, uh, there are predators of that pest. which are stronger than them. And in India, we call this kate se kata nikal. So we can use this method for control of pest, and it is very effective if we follow this properly. And as far as my opinion is concerned, use of broad spectrum pesticide should be avoided to certain extent so as to help these natural enemies to grow, build their population, and control the pest within the field. So, what we have to do for control, provide food, water, and shelter. For it will help them to stay in the crop field, to reproduce, and either parasite or predate the pest in the field. Maintain live diverse landscape, which means there should be there are lot of host plants which harvest the growth of these natural enemies. There they must be grown in the field, either on the borders or as a skip row, we can say, and it will help us to harvest more natural enemies. Practice of IPM. So the concept of IPM is designed to to control the pest or disease effectively and to reduce the use of chemical pesticides as far as possible. So we have to follow the IPM practices to conserve the natural enemies of insect pests. Another, it is an use of antagonistic fungi and bacteria. We can clearly see there is an image on the slide. You can clearly see there is a healthy plant and there is diseased plant. So after application of antagonistic fungi or bacteria to the soil, it it kills or it feeds on the inoculum of pathogen and which helps in enriching the soil. Also, it competes for the space nutrient, parasitize the fungi or bacteria present within the soil, secretes different hormones. With pathogens secrete different hormones which affects the root, and there are different metabolites and devices which has deteriorating effects on the plants. So use of various antagonistic fungi uh, are there are Trichoderma viridi, Argiana, Poning is there, Longibrachydon is there. There are Aspergillus species, Pseudomonas is there, Bacillus subtilis is there. They are different fungal and bacterial antagonists, which nowadays are more readily used by the farmers. Metarhizium anisopoly is there, Beauveria bassiana is there, which is used for the polyphagous pest, white grub in most of the areas. And it is recommended by Indian Council of Agriculture Research. And nowadays, there are also funding to establish the biocontrol labs across institutes, various agriculture institutes are nowadays mass multiplying this antagonistic fungi, their culture, and they are making it available for the farmers to help in this control. So it is very important thing when you call as biopesticides. Use of antagonistic fungi or bacteria is very important. So we know that chemical pesticides is somewhat risky. So what is government doing for sustainable agriculture? So we look at the policies of the government. There is scheme परंपरागत कृषि विकास योजना PKVY since 2015-2016. The scheme stress on end-to-end support to the organic farmers. It promotes the organic farming and gives support from right from the production certificate till marketing, and also the post-harvest management if the farmers want to process, pack, and market the food. So government is focusing on organic farming and nowadays natural farming under Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati program. Yes, it is also in trending, and all the KVKs across the India have to promote this natural farming and various activities, such activities, so as to create awareness about this issue. Also, there are different under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. High-level discussions are there on the natural farming practices. Various sessions, various solutions are taken from the scientists working, the farmers practicing the organic farming, and and currently it is in the trending. So according to a survey, it is estimated that 2.5 million farmers, means 25 lakh farmers in the India, already practicing this regenerative farming. We call it natural farming as regenerative farming because it primarily emphasized on resource recycle and less uh, emphasis is given or elimination of chemical related inputs. In next 5 years, it is expected to reach 20 lakh hectare organic farming, including natural farming. The natural farming and organic farming, these are two different concepts, and it is expected to reach 20 lakh hectare. Today, if you look at the picture, 12 lakh hectare is under Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati program. The 12 lakh hectare area is cultivated this kind of farming conditions. And we look at the sustainable agriculture. We always say sustainable agriculture, integrated management, integrated pest management, or integrated disease management as a whole. Here, let's consider sugarcane is a crop or wheat is a crop. Sugarcane is 12-month or 18-month crop. There are different or chemical inputs farmers use. There are fertilizers, there are different pesticide doses, schedules nowadays people are talking about, and tonics. They are getting yield about 100 tons per acre, which some farmers getting on an average year by year. This is increasing. It helps us to get more income. But when we look at these figures, when we look at this figure, we have to also look at the fact that the growth should be sustainable. If one farmer is getting 100 tons or 125 tons consistently for 2 3 years, then we have to look that if it can sustain in all aspects. It can, if it can sustain yield, we can consider it. There is no pollution of soil, there is no pollution of water resources, there are no health related hazards that may happen to the farmer after exposing to these chemicals. And upon analyzing this, scientists clearly reach to the conclusion that we have to be careful. We have to look at sustainable agriculture because what we have done in 50 years has changed various health related perspectives and different health related issues that have arisen in last decade or 2 decades are due to our food, mainly due to food. Maybe cancer related issues are there. As I said, told earlier that Punjab, there is a cancer thing. Uh, in Kolhapur district, I mean currently working in Maharashtra, in Sangli district. In Kolhapur district, there is Tehsil Shirur, which is mainly known for vegetable cultivation, and most of farmers cultivate vegetables sending to the market of Pune and Mumbai. But the health related issue, most of that, we, if you consider, it has become cancer hotspot in that region particularly. This is how the impact of pesticide on human health and the farmers. So before moving forward, progressing upward, we have to be we have to focus on sustainable agriculture, and that is what necessary at present conditions. And after taking that into consideration, government also focusing us to shift on organic farming or natural farming. They are saying it is not possible in next 5 years or 10 years, but will happen after some time because we people are getting more and more conscious about our health, and health is one of the important aspect of our life. If we are healthy, we can do everything. If tutorials or certain immune system, then everything get disturbed. So for sustainable development, we have to follow these principles which are scientifically developed, and also they are standardized. It can help in disease response to a certain extent, and only if it is necessary, maybe if it is important, we should go for the chemical related pesticide, fungicides, you can say any other chemicals. Until and unless there is no need to use chemical for the plant protection, indiscriminate use has caused various issues. So don't follow this blindly. You have to be careful, look, monitor, and then choose the way for plant protection. Also, government has initiated large area certification for in 2022, 21, 2020, 21. It has initiated LSA program in tribal area, desert, islands, and for organic certification, and the entire process gets completed within 3 to 6 months, and they are also working on these aspects. If you look at the picture presented here, while moving towards while moving, we should look and carefully think about the biodiversity, water conservation, soil health, and ecological pest management. This is what is necessary while protecting the water plant protection. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ganesh, for a detailed presentation. Now I'll quickly take up some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You can stop sharing the screen and then you can on the camera, please. Yeah, okay. I can see you. Thank you. So, first question is, as a subject matter specialist in plant production, what exactly do you do?
I'm currently working as subject matter specialist plant protection. My duties are to conduct different trainings, awareness, and for rural use for capacity development. There are different crops here. We are currently I'm working in Sangli, and we have 5 jurisdiction, and we look at the agroecological conditions. Uh, there in Shira, there is a rice. In Pawa Kadega, there is sugarcane is major crop. If we go toward east side, there is Khanapur and Atpad Tehsil, which are mostly drought affected areas. So variety of crops are there. So my basic duties are to uh, conduct training programs on various pest and disease management across the 5 theses. Also, as SMS plant protection, I have to conduct training on apiculture, mushroom production, and sericulture, and promote these activities. And for capacity building of rural farmers, rural youths, there are farming moves and agricultural farmers, producer farmers, all. Also, as a scientist, we have to conduct trainings of extension functionaries so that they get to know about what is going on in research and get them proper and detailed skill and knowledge about the recent happenings in the research all over the country.
Okay. And next question is it possible to completely do away with chemicals for plant protection?
No, we can't do that, and we can't completely claim as the complete eradication of chemicals from plant protection is possible. But we have to somehow reduce the use of chemical inputs because we are progressing ahead, but at what cost? It, we have to take this in consideration. We are risking our health for increasing production. It's also not good. So, as I told you while presenting this, we have to follow different methods for plant protection. So, as in this emphasis should be chemical related pesticides. There may be pesticides, fungicides, or herbicides. We have to use them less, and more emphasis should be given on this topic.
Okay. And next question is what are some drawbacks of not using chemicals for plant protection?
Drawbacks of not using chemicals. Drawbacks we see when there is huge loss. We call as there are two different terms. One is the damage boundary, and another is the economic threshold level. Damage boundary is when actual damage starts, and economic threshold level is when economic losses start occurring. Uh, if you don't apply chemicals at ETL or post ETL, then there will be losses, and the pest will polyphagous or uh, we say it is aggressive, then we are unable to control this. Uh, you might know the example of polar bear or desert locust in Pakistan or Rajasthan region. These pests are very aggressive and it will voracious. If we don't go for chemical control, then we can't control it. Huge crop area will be destroyed in some days. So we can't predict what sickness or disease can be. But if you don't go for chemical control sometime, it will cause huge losses.
Okay, now we have the last question. What is your education and experience and how you got interested in plant protection especially?
I have completed my master's in plant pathology. Uh, from last 1 year, I'm taking a subject matter specialist at KVK Tadsar. Uh, Basically, I was interested in agricultural entomology, but got my admission in plant pathology. But fortunately, I'm working as SMS plant protection. So I'm currently working on plant pathology plus agricultural entomology. And it is very interesting and major field. If you look at its importance for crop and for agricultural community. Very interesting to work in the plant protection.
Okay, Mr. Ganesh, I don't see any further questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank you for a detailed presentation and answering all the questions. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you.